Why is there pain and suffering in the world? This is a question that humanity has wrestled with for centuries. It's something we all ask at one point or another in our lives, especially when we face hardship or witness the suffering of others. But today, I want to explore a possible answer to this profound question. Pain and suffering exist because people have free will. Now, what does that mean exactly? You see, free will is the ability to make our own choices, to decide for ourselves how we act, think, and live. Without it, we would simply be puppets, following a predetermined path without any autonomy or individuality. But if we didn't have free will, we also wouldn't have true love. Think about it for a second. True love, in its essence, has to be freely given and freely received. It can't be forced or controlled. That's what makes it special. Love cannot exist in a world without choice, without freedom. Sure, we don't have totally free will in every sense. We are influenced by circumstances, environments, and limitations. But we do have the capacity to make decisions. Real choices that matter. Now, let's dive deeper into the big question. Why do we have pain and suffering if free will is such a gift? It seems contradictory, doesn't it? One perspective is that pain and suffering are a result of what we can call the Joker archetype. The Joker, in mythology and storytelling, represents chaos, disorder, and the unexpected curveballs that life throws at us. In many ways, the Joker archetype is a symbol for the unpredictable nature of the world, pain and suffering being part of that chaos. This archetype shows us that life isn't meant to be perfect. There will always be trials and tribulations. Imagine for a second what life would be like if there were no problems, no suffering, and everything was flawless. On the surface, that sounds great, right? But would life actually be fulfilling? Probably not. If everything was perfect all the time, people would eventually rebel. They'd lose their minds from the monotony. Nothing can be 100% perfect because it's the imperfections, the flaws, that give life depth and meaning. These cracks in the image, these moments of pain and suffering, they teach us something. Without flaws, how would we learn from our mistakes? If we never experienced pain, how would we grow? Think about it. It's through our most difficult moments that we often find the greatest lessons. Without the experience of suffering, how could we ever understand compassion, empathy, remorse, or guilt? These are emotions that make us human and connect us to one another. In a way, life is like a story, a narrative full of ups and downs, challenges and triumphs. The concept of sin, for example, doesn't have to be a moral judgment. It simply means to make a mistake. And mistakes are an essential part of the human experience. We can't live in a world where no one makes mistakes, because in making those mistakes, we learn and evolve. The pain and suffering we experience aren't without purpose. They are there to push us to grow, to reflect, and ultimately to become better versions of ourselves. So when we ask, why is there pain and suffering in the world? We are also asking, why is there growth? Why is there love? Why is there freedom? All of these things are connected, and in many ways you can't have one without the other. In the end, pain and suffering remind us that life is dynamic, not static. And though it may be hard to understand in the moment, the pain we experience plays a role in shaping us. It's part of the grander story, the one that each of us is living out. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of pain, suffering, and free will. If you found this video meaningful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And leave a comment below about your thoughts on this topic. I'd love to hear your perspective. Until next time, remember that even in the midst of suffering, there is always room for growth and understanding.